Whoa! Wait a minute, I'm too big. Hold on, let me shrink down to comfortable proportions. Dang! Well, boys, we finally did it. We finally achieved the impossible, and I did a game clear. We finished Legend of Zelda: The Waker of the Winds. GameCube Nintendo version, copyright 2002, original character do not steal. Available now only at the Smithsonian, right next to the Fonzie's jacket. I don't know, my brain is on the old school kick because I just watched the Red Letter Media thing where they and Macaulay Culkin reviewed Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and that's got my brain kind of trapped in the space between spaces, if you know what I'm saying. I sure don't. God, you know, just like very rarely, except for the old school Genesis type games that you can crank out in like 45 minutes, I very rarely manage a game clear, huh? And well, I mean, in fairness, a lot of the games these days are not meant to be cleared. I don't think there's ever really an end state for something like Nikkei, for example. And a lot of the other games I played are simply interminably long. I mean, we never really finished Persona 3 or Final Fantasy 7. But in fairness to my own self, it's almost impossible to finish those games. They're 5,000 miles long. Wait, what's going on? What's going on? You booted your Wii the other day and checked out GB memory card. I had no idea what I was doing in Wind Waker. And checked my your GC memory card. You mean? Is that what you're saying? The GameCube. Yeah, that's right. I knew the correct acronym. Oh shit, sorry, I don't have my YouTube chat up. I've been twitching for so long, twitching on the floor, twitching and convulsing for so long that I've forgotten how to be normal. I forgot how not to be askance. Yeah, I mean, funny coincidence. I just fired up my Wii for the first time in more than a decade as well. For the longest time, I thought it was broken. But then it occurred to me, maybe just the power thing is busted. And I bought a new power thing. And sure enough, it booted up like a dream. Oh, I'm glad. I had so much downloaded games on that thing that they probably don't sell. I don't keep up with this, but I understand the Wii Shop channel and a bunch of like the 3DS Shop channel are all gone forever, and so you can't ever buy any of those things ever again. Which, I mean, in fairness, there's only a few, like, I guess that one Shantae game is gone forever. Memory hold expelled. However, I think the only games I'd actually miss and want to be able to acquire again in the future would be like those Phoenix Wright games. The Apollo Justice Trilogy. I think they're actually releasing an Apollo Justice Trilogy soon, or they already did, or something. Like I said, I can't keep track of this shit anymore. It's I rarely see long games through to completion. Perhaps it is the beginning of incipient elderly status. Maybe I'm just withering away, right? My mind and body, spiritually as well. I'm just becoming, what is it called? Not infertile. What is it called when like the earth itself stops yielding its susurrus bounties? Fallow. There we go. Fallow sounds like it should mean the opposite though. Somehow it sounds more like rotten earth sounds like it should give forth even more of its ability. You know, I don't know. It's just like I want you to envision the picture I'm trying to implant in your subconscious is a humanoid shape, withering, ossifying, and cracking all at once though, like very rapidly. Like remember that SpongeBob? We gotta get SpongeBob back. Remember that cartoon? And then like he turns around and everyone freezes in place and just turns into solid. Like the crack sound makes it sound solid, but then they blow away in the wind. Like there's a quick phase. They go through phases of being their normal selves, and then they become like statues. They become Bee-Boo, and then they become powder, and they're blown away despite all, right? Like that's kind of that's what I'm asking you to picture. Not really picture, but I just want that. That's the archetype. That's the psychiatric image. That's what your brain is doing, right? You didn't notice it, but your brain did. That level of thought. But well, part of the reason we haven't actually finished any of the PlayStation games is because I move stuff around, and now floor space is at such a premium. I can only really have one game console hooked up at a time now, and right now that's the Cube, the GameCube. Oh, maybe I should get rid of it and get the Wii out here, right? We can hook up the Wii, that way we can play Metroid Prime 2 and Wii Sports. I don't know, though. I don't know if I want to futz with motion control. I'll think about it. I'll have lots of time to think about it, because after this, I flee. I'm fleeing, okay? I'm fleeing off to parts unknown. I'm going to be in sunny California for a whole fortnight. I don't know exactly what I'll do. The destination is San Diego. It was last minute. I had no plans to do this. Gee, maybe I'll hopscotch over to Mexico while I'm at it. Who knows? Lord knows I haven't been out of the country in a while. I mean, Peru a few months back, but that was just one time, okay? And it was years and years before that. I'm still counting one calendar year. This is still the first calendar year in like maybe 5 or 6 that I had occasion to cross international frontiers, right? That's all I'm saying. But the point, and then, of course, the flight is into LAX. And I have not set foot in the Los Angeles region in many, many moons. So hopefully I can rediscover all my ancient haunts. For I once knew that land, that cursed, that blessed land. I hope Nihonmura is still up and firing. I hope K-Town is good. I don't know if I'll have the ability to get everywhere, though. Obviously, I will be dependent on public transportation exclusively. However, I don't know if any of that stuff works good. You know, things have changed. Lots of stuff has changed over the last few years. Everything's worse and more expensive, or just good old-fashioned decrepit. You know, who knows? And then by the time I get back, maybe I'll be capable of obtaining any additional money ever again. but not likely, bro. Not bloody likely, if you ask me. That's okay. I have to ponder my ever-expanding list of like games I want to play. Part of it is I kind of want to branch out more, right? Like, I mean, there's always 10,000 more video I can play on a live stream, but what I'd really like to, I want to dabble in other areas unrelated, like unexplored depths. I mean, there's video essays that'll keep you busy, man, dude. And video essays, while they are fun in their way, they are also the most labor-intensive thing in the entire universe. It's a little bit much, you know. It's a lot. It's just a tremendous amount. The good thing is once they're up forever until your YouTube randomly gets deleted for no reason, which is always on the table. That's the fun-filled reality of creating video content on the YouTube. But it's a deleterious risk that we all willingly take upon ourselves. We take unto ourselves the yoke of this terrible burden. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Well, I still want to do Ratchet trilogy. I want to at least get to into the ether, whatever it's called. The one Ratchet and Clank game I never played, other than the new one, which I still don't have. The one on PS3, and then I want to do like, oh man. Well, I do eventually want to get back to Splatoon. I just had to take a break. I got a little burned out on the Splat game, but you know, the Splat game is fun. And I am paying for Nintendo Online. Call it sunk cost fallacy. I mean, I do. I'd call it that because that's what it is. Call it an accurate term. Like, represent it correctly is what I'm saying. But, you know, but in addition to the fact that I just want to engage in genuine bouts of merriment, in addition to rage, maybe that's what I'm missing. Maybe it's not the emotions, but the emotional differential. Maybe it's the simple fact that the high highs and the low lows have gotten compressed, right? Like with compression comes depression. That's a good very unhealthy. That's a coping mechanism mapped out right in front of all of us, right in front of God and everybody, right? So it's like, you know, the mood might be consistently higher, but if the heights and the nadirs are not made to be exceedingly distant from each other, then it's like the zest is kind of muted, right? It's like, you know, it's like the spicy noodle challenge. It's like those types of things. That's what Splatoon does. It's like, I think the name for it is gambler's fallacy, right? Like, you're already in this deep. You got to go the rest of the way. You lost the last 3 bets. That means you'll have to win the next 6 to make up for it. Except instead of currency, it's merely emotional valence that you're staking on the ante. And when you finally tap out, when you finally roll snake eyes, I mean, you get to keep your house. But the house that God built has been burned to the ground. And that, I feel, is a particularly good pull quote. They should put that shit right on the back of that box. Right there. Right on there. Splatoon 4. Oh, maybe they won't call it Splatoon 4. You think? Because the number's cursed? I don't know. Everyone's speculating wildly now that they're more or less openly flirting with the idea that the Switch 2 is forthcoming. I'm telling you, though, that shit better be future-proof. It better have 9,000 hour battery life, and it better play every single indie game ever created with no fuss or muss. And, of course, it's got to be reverse compatible. Otherwise, all hell will break loose. I can't play Mario Odyssey 1 and the inevitable Mario Odyssey 2 on that self-same system. I don't even know what they're doing here. And I just remembered, too, we had Final Fantasy. We're like almost to the end of the first discount, Final Fantasy 7. But again, the PlayStation 2 is currently unhooked. So it's like we've made our choice. It's like the Lover's Arcana. Speaking of Persona, it's like the Lover's Arcana represents not the obvious, but rather having to make a decisive decision between two mutually exclusive paths in life, and I've chosen, much as I did those many moons ago, we had to go Nintendo, bro. As a storied Sega refugee, I had little recourse. So that's where I'm at now. That's where we're at in life. In any case, the point is, after having my brain scrambled by not just Wind Waker, but also that Philips CDI Zelda-like and assorted other scintillating delights of the gaming industry, I think it's just good timing. The timing has arrived. I could use a change of scenery. A week-long break. Perfect timing. Especially because, boyo, it gets to be 10,000 degrees. It gets 10,000 degrees in the summer. I think I'll try to stream late at night again. I know we get a lot more Danish in the chat when we're in the mid-afternoons here. But if I can avoid becoming denatured of protein over the course of a single casual combo stream, that would be optimal. That would be the optimal option for me. There's also, I mean, I guess you could say I'm doing what Lyle on Akewood referred to as gonzo research. I gotta do gonzo homework. Yeah. That's it. I gotta do my gonzo homework. Not only do I have a boatload of animes to catch up on, well, I mean, for one thing, I mentioned more than once, I've finally been catching up on Spy Family, right? What I did not realize is I've apparently had a premium account with Crunchyroll. I mean, I didn't renew it. I just had it. Just logged back in and had access to 1,000 things, and I noticed I'm getting billed. So presumably I've been getting continuously billed for months and months without watching any. I thought I discontinued it. I thought I switched off of the Crunchyroll and switched over to the High Dive back when I was watching Oshinoko. Speaking of which, my God, Oshinoko Season 2 is out this month, apparently. So I gotta catch up on the Oshinoko, and while I have High Dive live, I gotta get in on that Made in Abyss perversion as well. I didn't even realize the motion picture takes place between seasons, so I guess I'll pick up on the movie, pick up where I left off on that second season, and once my psyche has been sufficiently irreversibly adulterated by bizarre anime phantasms, then I'll have more of a current day cultural point of reference, you know? It's a weird thing that, like, my leisure content consumption, even that starts to feel like a portion of time at a certain point, right? Like I'm on the clock in a way. It's a common complaint. It's a common complaint I hear bemoaned by many a content creator, where they start to feel like, you know, okay, done with the video, I just instantly have to start work on the next video. That kind of thing. I don't know if there's a name for it. There should be. We'll call it Rima syndrome. I heard, yeah, because Rima Evenstar said something like that. I'm like, oh, bro, exactly. Oh, she's just like me, for real. And for once, I didn't mean it in like a sarcastic, self-deprecating way. I meant, oh, yeah, literally, that does. You do start to get on a kind of a treadmill mentality, and not even like the semantic kind of treadmill, not the kind where all the swear words churn more tame over time and you have to replace them with more new innovative minced oaths. I mean, it's just like, you know, it's like, well, when is enough for now? Well, I guess there's also like the existential free fall that accompanies any period of inactivity, because you start to feel like, oh my goodness, this is it. I'm going to get too comfortable. I'm gonna get too comfortable in this this period of inactivity, and then I'll just I'll never come back. I'll never resume. But I think as long as you've got ideas ricocheting around, you got the main skill is to see the follow through, right? When you get better at taking that incipient notion, nurturing that little notion into a blossoming idea, and then slicing it down, rending it out of the nurturing earth in which it has grown, and then harvesting its fell fruits. Hopefully, it doesn't end up being like one of those fucked up trees that grows in Florida that has the toxic white oil, the blindness oil. One of those Everglades trees that looks like a weeping willow, but it will make you a weeping Zillow because it discharges sap that will annihilate everything it touches. That's what I'm saying. And it also makes fruit. It makes health fruit. I think they're called death apples. So don't touch. Yeah. So hopefully the fruits of your nurtured ideas don't end up being death apples. They end up being more of like the conventional type of apples, or whatever so floats your boat. Or, they float of their own accord upon the vast ocean of semiotic occlusion, and then they bear their terrible progeny on shores far afield. Far Garfield. I don't know why I keep saying things like that. Well, at any point, besides the vast oceans of anime, there's all like YouTube. YouTube's been getting a little. I think I've tamed it. I think it's getting a little bit better behaved. For a while there, YouTube was getting really AI'd. AI steru sono YouTube-san. That son of a bitch. It was like, dude, you know how there was that trend where people would just take Reddit threads and read them? Well, that increased exponentially, because now I don't even know if actual human beings are behind those channels anymore. But that's like, you get 1,000 of those recommended a day. And it's like, there's weird spelling errors and the voices are fake. So you can tell the whole thing is made by a computer program. But that's going to be a full 90% of all the content on the entire internet, like within the month. But finally, I've managed to find some solace. There's alternative forms. You have to wait 8 months for an Emperor Lemon video and 10 years for a JonTron video. But I found out there's an octopus lady channel who talks about creatures of the angry sea. There was something called like the god Pharaoh. They talk about ancient Egypt. I think, well, it recommended me a video. I haven't gotten to watch it yet, but it recommended me a video about the Pac-Man ghost with the bare feet. The VTuber god. One of the many odd bits of semiotic coincidence where a creature imagined by Bronze Age civilizations thousands of years ago ended up separately having utmost relevance to our sensibilities today, right? They got a frog named Keck. They got a Pac-Man ghost with giant grippers. It's like a video game character mixed with the ultimate VTuber search engine optimization. It was I forget the name, but I remember it was the name of the anonymous type group in Persona 5. The gamer girl, the PC otaku shut-in. She has some kind of secret society, and it's named after this thing. And it's a little reference to the fact that apparently the Pac-Man feet ghost became a bit of an internet celebrity there in Japan, because the first pictures, like they mentioned him in the Book of the Dead a bunch, and no one ever actually saw an illustration or a hieroglyph, and they finally managed to find one, and they were shocked to find that it was like the god of the dead or something, and they finally found an illustration, and it's just half an oval with eyeballs and big silly feet, and it was an unexpected discovery, and everyone was delighted, and it became a sort of cultural fixation. Everyone was on it for a while, and then it made its way. It went its way in as like a naturally harvested meme into the Persona game, but that's not even why I got it recommended, though. It just sort of popped up. So I feel like there's an optimistic turn here. YouTube algo has finally been tamed, and we're gonna be. I'm gonna have time dedicated to doing my Gonzo homework. I finally finished the entire first season of Spy Family. So now I could just but I can't binge stuff. That's one of my problems. I can't keep up with you kids. I think kids today, they watch stuff at like 5x speed or something. They're like Commander Data or the Borg or something. They can consume data at a startlingly efficient rate, and they don't even need a normal time frame for like the human mind to assimilate what they're being exposed to. All they need is the images and the sound, and they can just parse it in some kind of post-processing in their brains later while they're speedballing their Starbucks and their skibbity toilet, you know? But I can watch maybe a handful of episodes, and then I need some downtime. I just need to process what I've seen. I don't want to binge through it all too fast and forget what's going on. I can maybe do 4 episodes at a stretch, which is still like, you know, plenty of time to get through a 26 episode season and all. But my point is, it's not just that one season, it's 47 other shows. And well, in any case, so I got through the Spy Family season 1. I loved it. So fortunately, that one was a success. I also want to catch up on, what is it, the melancholy of the Haruya Suzumiya one. That one, I know because of the music, right? It's hold on, I want to make sure I don't accidentally bring up fucking sounds from my browser. Okay, my watch list is extensive. I gotta watch Blue Submarine #6, the one with the dangerous, sexy mermaids. That actually has been sort of on my watch list for more than a decade. I've just known about it, but that was back I only learned about it from DVD trailers, probably on like a Cowboy Bebop collection or something. So it's like back in the days when your minimum buy-in was like $100. Dude, I'm talking about now Blue Submarine #6. It's from Bandai DVDs, I think. My backlog is a pastiche of new and old. I'm not necessarily going in chronological order. I want to go back and become well-read on this thing that has become so, you know, died into my point of cultural reference. I also want to see this Chainsaw Man. The kids have been talking about Chainsaw Man so much. I'll finally fucking check it out. Everybody keeps mentioning it. There's all these memes. There's all these character posts. You know, people are simping for creatures from this show, and I need to know about it. I need to watch One Punch Man. I mean, I've seen it. I've caught that one at least on Adult Swim here and there. So I at least need to. I'm just gonna buckle down and see it from start to finish. It does seem like my cup of tea. I like the style. I like the approach. Also, Steak Bentley did an extensive video about it, and you know, me and my boy Steak. If that guy has good things to say about it, then I mean, it's gonna fit onto my wavelength somehow. Let's see. Episode 1 of Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken did not quite win me over as it did so many others, but I'm willing to give it another try. Maybe it goes somewhere. Maybe it goes somewhere else. They mostly just fantasize about maybe drawing a cartoon, and then they go into the live version of their fantasy cartoon. I don't know. Seems kind of. I feel like maybe I'm not as impressed because I saw Muppet Babies, right? It's like basically the same concept. They had a different imagination adventure every day, and that was back in the days of them just cranking out 65 episodes of a cartoon all at once. They really put all their eggs in one basket, and for some reason they had the legal ability to use clips from Star Wars. I assume because it's Jim Henson. I assume they had some kind of an in. with the big guy. This is pre-Disney. They're both probably owned by Disney at this point. They could do it again. It wouldn't work. But they, wait, what? What? It's too high a level. Are we talking? Is that Aizoken? Masasaki Yuasa stuff is too high for my current literacy level. I mean, how much higher does it have to be? Do I have to go back and reread Notes from the Underground? Do I have to be well read in my Dostoevsky in order to get in? Is this like fucking Frankenstein? Is it like Mary Shelley expecting me to be at least this well read to enter? Damn. I feel like I'm in the anime literary club, and I'm not talking about that KC Green comic from probably more than 10 years ago. I was going to say 10 years ago, like as a joke, like, wow, that's an arcane reference from all the way 10 years. It's probably more like 20. Was the anime club from like 2006? Probably, eh? It could be. I don't know. I wouldn't bring up. Well, yeah, it's like that's the thing. That's the Tempest Fugit logic of it. It's like, stuff's never so old that it can't be way older than I realize. Also, I wanted, let's see, well, I finished Attack on Titan, but there's a bunch of extra stuff from it. There's like side chapters that came out at some points that I don't remember. I don't know if there's any point though. I don't know, like what could there be? Are they good? I watched all the main seasons. There's just a bunch of random. I hope they're not just clip shows to help you get caught up. But you know me, I love my Titans. Jujutsu Kaisen. Anime Club was 2010. Okay, split the difference. 10 years ago would have made it 2014, 2006. So like, yeah, right in the middle. Okay. I'll call it. I'll call myself exactly half right on that one. Pretty old reference. 2010's retro. Keep in mind, the Wii U wasn't even out yet. That was the era of the Nintendo Wii. Was Netflix even doing streaming yet? Was it still a DVD service? I mean, DVD was still definitively common back then. Physical media, you know, the new records. Well, the new old records. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? My point is, time waits for no man. Time's arrow soars ever forward. Except for maybe when it doesn't. I'm not sure. I'm no quantum physicist. I just know that it gets dilated or something. You know? And then let me see. Oh, Ping Pong the Animation. That's another Steak Bentley recommendation. Free Ren Beyond Journey's End. I mean, if I'm all up on that, you know me, I like my Tolkien. I'd be Tolkien about it. If someone managed to make fantasy like immortal elf medieval world and made it sexier, you know, I guess I'll give it a try. I'll wet my beak a little. Hello, Jimmy Wax. How are you on this unseasonably, and by unseasonably I mean perfectly expectedly seasonally warm ass summer ass humid ass day? It's only getting hotter. It's only getting spicier from here, boys. Should I go with this Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro? I mean, that's mostly just something I recognize the character from the memes. There's image macros. I don't know a thing about the actual show, but I mean, if it's memed, it must have struck some kind of genuine chord. That's how I go. That's what I go from. I don't like wait for reviews. I'm not going to read an article or watch a video. I'm just going to wait until something bubbles up through the memosphere. Once something gets memey, watching Kill la Kill has made a massive impact on the trajectory of your life. I mean, who hasn't? Kill la Kill changed everyone. It changed everything. It was our generation's Dallas. You know? It's the summer everyone was walking around wearing shirts, Who Shot JR? And we walked around virtually wearing shirts that said, you know, Dad, I'm turning into pudding, or whatever the hell that was. Yeah, there was quite a scenic visual gag in that one episode. They ran around in circles. I assume there was a pun or something that was lost on our non-fluent, our benighted Western minds couldn't appreciate whatever play on words was going on there. Or maybe it just happened for no reason. Who can say? Either way, I found it blessed. I found it, you know, it was one of those moments where it comes together. Emergent artistic valence. Kind of like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, you know? Amazing Larry. There was originally supposed to be a scene establishing it, and then they cut it, but they left in the subsequent reference anyway, and it became more mythical that way, right? It's like that. It's like probably like one of those. Maybe it's better that I don't understand the full context, right? If I'm just sort of getting this from the fringe, like the outside perspective, maybe that makes it better. It's like the fact that your mind gets to sort of process it for a while. Then you're like, okay, this is gonna, it'll affect you more if you're dwelling more on the meaning rather than just being kind of, you know, like speed fed the content, like James Rolfe trying to watch all of the old Power Rangers episodes. I do remember that, dude. I started watching whatever that was, the I don't know James Rolfe thing. I haven't finished it. I don't get it. Maybe I am illiterate. This guy is, well, he's talking about it with a certain gravitas that I think might be a bit misapplied to, you know, the angry video game nerd. It's all like profile camera shots and like close-ups of hitting a tape recorder. It's like very artfully done. But then he's like, I watched a documentary about James Rolfe, and I saw that he hangs his box lights from the ceiling using coat hooks. I'm like, well, yeah, I remember seeing that. I remember seeing that too. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure that's not the optimal way to do it. But I mean, aside from the fact that the guy is working on probably a very light budget. I mean, I know he gets sponsorships and this is his living, but he probably still has to keep those margins as wide as humanly possible. B, he's working in some kind of horrible gamer basement. He doesn't have like a real set, and he doesn't have a lot of. I mean, I'm two minds of it because I liked the original cramped ass nerd room better. I feel it was more visually interesting back when he didn't have any room at all and it looked good. But now, you know, the basement I've never liked as much because it's gray and flat and there's less like his creative hand is forced but seldom, you know. But you know, if the guy wants to buy some box lights on Amazon and use coat hooks to dangle them from the ceiling. I mean, he said something like, why doesn't he just use clamps? I'm like, well, the clamps are they're metal. They're like probably too heavy. They'll break his little flimsy ass foam core ceiling into a million pieces. And then where will he be? He'll have to put the lights on the fucking floor, not to mention get his roof fixed, ceiling, whatever, you know? But but the point is, the whole thing is like, you know, I just came to a startling realization. I don't know James Rolfe. And am I supposed to be reading into the pregnancy of that sentence somehow? What is it? What? Of course you don't know James Rolfe. Nobody knows him. He's just some guy in Pennsylvania who happened to be very competent at making video on YouTube, and he happened to talk about a very popular topic on the internet, and he has leaned real hard into it, and he's made it his life's work for decades. And now he's got a mortgage and kids, and I thought it was going to be more about just like, you know, the tension between the creative freedom and the commercial necessity of volume, but it's not really. It's more about like, I don't know what it's about so far. Wow, you're stuck in a blackout, bro. Damn, star boy, you're the star. You're our guiding light, and now you're in a blackout. If the stars themselves may live and die, what does that say for you and I? Well, good luck with the weather-based calamity, star boy. Oh, that sucks. A lot of people have been getting. It sounds like a lot of people have been getting blacked out lately. Actually, I do believe. Like the further north you go, it seems like everyone's getting rained in. I mean, you know, it's fun. It's fun a little bit. At least it's a neat thunderstorm. You might see some. Hope your shit doesn't get struck like mine did. I've been in the vicinity of lightning bolts 2 or 3 times in the past several years, and it has cost me some money. I'll say that much. Well, in any case, thank you for bidding with Starboy's auspices upon the trip. It is sure to be a seamless adventure. You know, if I get some pineapple ramen and a heaping pile up of matcha ice cream, I think I'll call it a day. That's worth a trip of 3,000 miles, right? I'm a simple man of simple needs. Okay, maybe I'm seeing what you're saying about the literacy. Maybe I shouldn't be going for the challenging stuff. Maybe I shouldn't be going for the ping pong and the tatami galaxy. Maybe I should just watch the how heavy are the dumbbells you lift. Maybe I should just watch the animes that'll help me understand the meme videos that HoloLive put out 5 years ago. And some of the HoloLives are into their like 7th anniversaries now and stuff. We're gonna get our first 10-year anniversary very soon. What'll you think about that, boys? When Tokino Sora turns the big 1-0, are you gonna is that gonna be like what? Like, I don't know, man. It's just like 10 years doesn't sound like that important anymore. It used to. Like if something was still around in 2004 that started in 1994, you'd be like, oh damn, that thing's been around forever. That's like, you know, the 10th Sonic anniversary seemed like a big milestone. Luigi, the year of Luigi, that was like the 35th anniversary. That seems like an impossibly long time. Now, I guess maybe that's part of it, eh? Maybe it's because we're just so used to seeing things go on for decades on end. Now, just to see something last a mere decade is, well, you know, we've kind of been through that collective experience. Hello, Jimmy. Hello, Jimmy. Are those hand waves or are you waxing that ass? I don't know. I don't know why I said this thing. I can't be held accountable for I got my brains are boiled by anime and video game and creating horrors utilizing weird AI. Cool, dude. Are you responsible for my YouTube algorithm? Are you responsible? Oh, weird. Oh, Weird Al. I see what you've done there, Mr. Yankovic. Bobby Hill sold him his first joke for $20. In Soviet Russia, we have no money. Wait, no, that was Yakov Smirnov. Never mind. Okay, shut up. I didn't say anything. God damn it! I've been trying to gather my thoughts now for 36 minutes. Hasn't worked. Cool, dude. You're a little too cool, if you ask me. You got me good. I wish I was a cool dude, actually. I'm piping hot. I'm humid. I'm humid as all get out. I'm what they call a suffering bastard, dude. And I don't even mean like the cocktail. You know, not gonna lie. And I know it probably isn't. For some reason, a Manhattan looks really tasty. Maybe while I'm out and about, I'll try my first Manhattan. Never had one. I just know it's the drink that Bart had to make for the Mafia a bunch of times. But the fact that it's like shimmering brown and it has a cherry in it makes me think it'll be very nice and fruity flavored. But I bet it isn't. I bet it's very intense. I bet it's made out of like rye whiskey or something. So I bet it's a harsh mistress that dries the tongue and curdles the palate. But I want it to be basically like a smooth apple cider type drink, but with a cherry kick. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe like like one of those Black Forest beverages. Do they still make those at the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf? Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to rediscover the West Coast, long forgotten. There is a single picture hinting at my creation on Twitter. Oh dear. Oh wait, so you actually are making something. I thought it was just joke time. I thought you were just availing yourself of the visual similarity between a capital I and a lowercase L, and then we were just gonna say, "Oh, weird AI, what are you doing?" And then you said, "Mr. Yankovic," and then I thought we were done. I thought it was safe. I thought it was safe to forge forth. I thought we were moving past all this, but nope. Cool dude here. Wow, the music suddenly got really cool too. Wow, is this the music that accompanies your AI creation? Oh, Lord. Oh, no, it's a bit. Oh, no. Oh, it's not a bit. He's so real. Is this... Can I show it on the stream? And if I follow a link to it, is it fine? Yankovic crafted by hand? That actually does sound like a real roadside tchotchke that you'd get in some kind of a rustic part of the country. Like you'd be driving through Maine, and there'll be some place selling, you know, probably honey and craft beer and also handcrafted Yankovic. And you'd be like, oh, what's this? And it's some kind of an old world utensil for handling hot items, you know, or something that you'd store mixed beans in, like before you wet them to cook them, you know, like some kind of a tarred canvas pouch. Yeah, right? That's what a Yankovic sounds like. Handcrafted. It doesn't sound edible. That's all I'm saying. It sounds more like something that you'd use for like bivouacking. You'd have you'd cured meat or dried fruit or something would go in there, and it would keep protected from the elements. You know, the fact that it gets weird is just like the modern spin on it, right? Let's see. I'm not sure I remember your Twitter handle off the cuff, and there's a lot of competing results, and I'm fearful of what may happen if my click goes awry. You can pop a link into either the Discord or maybe on the chat, wherever you want. And I'll take a gander. I'll take a gander at my at my convenience. I like my headcanon though. I'm worried that I've already created a perfect, it's sort of like, it's like Felipe in Achewood, or I mean, I guess it's just any child, any sufficiently naive child will swiftly create a version of reality, an image in their mind that they instantly become enamored with. And then whatever the reality ends up being can't possibly compete with it. It just can't live up to the expectation, the unrealistic, unreasonable expectations in your mind. And then you'll just be disappointed. Right. But like, I mean, it's not unique to this situation. It's everything. I feel like, I guess that's just everything everywhere all the time. That's how that movie, everywhere, everything all at once. It's just the story of getting all riled up over notions and then discovering, oh no, it can never be this way or something. What? Am I making sense? Am I getting through to anyone? Speaking of Discord too, Yakuza Mom posted some sagacious warnings, the like Discord scams, of which I have fortunately been completely like bereft for in my brief career as a modern times tech man. I have fortunately not encountered. I'm not getting boomered yet, but they're getting sneaky out there. They got like now they got like obviously fake messages, right? Ooh, if you do something, you'll get $1 million. Hooray. Except the buttons to make the message go away or to block it, those are getting embedded with fake like phishing links now. Bro, it's like between that and the AI, it's like this is like an extinction event for especially for like, the like boomers among us. Anyone on the internet without a finely crafted sense for how you'll get screwed over at every possible opportunity. It's like, how do you stand a chance? It's like they're getting cleverer. I think it's only a matter of time before like the AI gets so fluent at tomfuckery. What happens when the AI starts scamming itself? That's my main question. That's been my question from the beginning. Everyone's preoccupied on the inexorable replacement of the labor force. Everyone's jobs are going to be taken. But what happens when you can just outsource spending on crap to AI? What happens when the AI program can go and do the shopping and just move the money around? Once the money can circulate and the entire economic system is completely self-sufficient without the need for meddling humanity, then we've truly outlived our usefulness on the face of this earth. I suppose will then be mulched and used to briefly bring down the power costs of running all the AI generating graphics cards. So think of it, your molecules made not only of stardust at the dawn of the universe will someday, for a brief moment, be used to move the electrons through the CUDA cores of some eternally toiling NVIDIA product. And then night will come. Night forever. Come on, man. At least let me power. At least let my mutilated remains fuel an AMD card or something. At least tell me I'm not making an NFT. At least tell me I'm like purchasing hypothetical groceries to be consumed by a hypothetical consumer on a hypothetical space colony. I mean, it's like an extension of it. I just made slideshows, man. Huh? Is this a genuine scholastic endeavor? Is this a project meant for the halls of higher learning? That makes sense. It's like, that's the goal. You'd be like being recognized for your efforts. But is that what the kids are calling a slideshow these days? A Yankovic? I have to admit, cool dude, and it might just be because of my hideously inadequate nutrition, and it might be because of my completely bad sleep schedule, but sometimes I have a hard time keeping up with what people are talking about these days. It's just part of the ongoing process of becoming utterly alienated from existence, This is a project born of scholastic boredom. Well, I mean, the finest projects are. Actually, that's not always the case. My first dalliance with coding way back in the day. It was on my required TI graphing calculator. I had to learn some horrible, well, I didn't have to, but I took it upon myself to learn TI basic. That was a nightmare. That was, I'm glad I didn't have to work with basic languages too much. I made a text adventure game. It took countless hours to make it, and it wasn't very long, and it wasn't very good, and I couldn't format the text correctly. So it didn't, you couldn't get the words to wrap right around the screen, so you just had words splitting in half and stuff. But it functioned, damn it. And that was, and it had a title screen and it had a game end state, and that was incredible for me at the time. And then I said, no more. Though I did take, during my brief trial period of Skillshare, I managed to take a C# course, and I did the whole first section, and the second section wasn't posted like it used to be, and then it disappeared forever. And so I'm like, well, I guess I'm done with that. I guess my journey ends here. But then Spacey Bat, who's the Bat streamer who makes the Freedom Planet games, right? She's always doing the game dev streams using Godot engine and that pixel art program, and I have gotten a ways into a Godot engine class on gamedev.tuvalu. It's gone relatively well. I've actually got the first 2 sample games made, and they more or less work most of the time. And I reverse engineered some weird ass emergent problems that didn't happen in any of the tutorials, but I fixed them, which I didn't think I'd be able to do. So there we go. And I even saw a video that was castigating the creator of Undertale for having the sloppiest, most inefficient source code in the history of video games. And I actually kind of got some of the stuff they were talking about, you know? Apparently all of the dialogue in the entire game is just one giant switch statement. That's incredible. Like there's like just if 1 to 1,000, and each number corresponds to a different line of text that populates the screen. And that's, it just does that check every single time you ever talk to anybody. And it's because it's so basic and pixely that it doesn't just bog your computer down to a grinding halt. But, you know, like, I'm like, oh, I kind of recognize the syntax, and I do recognize how horrifying it is. I'm starting to see more of the underpinnings than just the liner notes and that comic book guy reads the source code video, the Simpsons Hit and Run source code video, which is very funny regardless. But it's like, oh, I feel like, oh, progress of a kind. I'm starting to see some kind of progress. My mind is developing. Although I am becoming increasingly, what's the correct word? Like I'm feeling insecure about how rusty I am in geometric concepts. Like I had to remind myself how the Pythagorean theorem works, and I'm like, bitch, I haven't touched this in a long time. I haven't thought about this. I haven't thought in this way in an age. Not that I'm like proud of that, but it's like, you know, when I'm trying to reason out how to make the numbers move around, I'm like, God damn it, I flat out don't remember how. How am I supposed to? Where do I go to practice? I need a resource. I've downloaded a few apps that apparently are for practicing this in an intuitive way, but it's like anything online, you know, Khan Academy and all that, but it starts from square one. Like I don't want to start from literal high school level and have it explained to me. I know what the things are. I just don't know what to do with them, really. I need like a quick Cliff Notes refresher thing. Something that can say, okay, you kind of knew this at one point, but you haven't used it in a while, and now you're trying to use it in a much more direct way than you ever have before. Here you go. Let's get you back in let's get you remedialized. That's it. I need like remedial learning. I need remedial numbers magic. Oh, that would be a good title for a book, actually. Like that's how they should that's how they could market it even. Well, in any case, I'll take it all. I'll pace it all out. That's the point here. That's the point here. We're going out on a nice, easy note. And when I go on my little journey, hold on, let me turn on the main music again. Haha. Once I'm recharged, you know, I get like, I don't know, I gotta rethink about it. I don't have a specific plan. Wait, how do you hint that weird Albert can sense his rat is nearby? How do I convey that? Use like a Wi-Fi symbol, you know, like a silhouetted rat inside of a shape, and then Weird Albert is like in some kind of a thoughtful pose, and then have some kind of a radar like lines connecting the two, you know, like if you can animate it, have the radar lines, then have a semi-opaque rat silhouette, you know, or like the semi-opaque rat silhouette appears in a word bubble type of feature, and it points to an actual photographically detailed rat nearby, right? Like on the other side of a wall, and they're facing opposite directions to convey that this isn't any kind of direct visual confirmation. It's just sort of a broader reaching, you know, a sensory thing. Rat sympathy. A rat sympathetic response, you know. I think that would work. I'd have to play around with it a lot. That's basically an editing challenge, and I'd have to A/B test it a lot. That's what I've learned. I didn't mean to wink. That was an emergency. I'm blinky because of sweat. But a lot of the editing trickery only works on incredibly precise factors of timing, and the only way to get there is by just trying 5,000 iterations of it until something kind of works. Maybe more or less the way you intended. If it ever works the way you intended. It's possible you'll have to take hours of attempts and simply discard them. Straight into the graveyard. Do not pass your upkeep. Do not collect 2 new land cards or a HoloLive booster pack. There's some store listed on the Vice... The Vice Schlitz, whatever the hell that printing company's called, they have their own website lists a very surprisingly nearby card store as a purveyor of my HoloLive trading cards, and they don't seem to have them in stock. I'm gonna freak. Well, anyway, this latest outrage notwithstanding, it's not worth dwelling on now. I have final travel arrangements to make, so it's been nice having this little catch up. Casual Zatsu. I only intended to keep it relatively short, so I'll wrap things up here. And well, I have a video coming out on Wednesday, and otherwise no solid plans. I'll see you when I see you. Ha ha. Okay. Mata nya wah. I hope you find something disgusting. Yeah, man. I'm going to LA. I probably will. Okay. Bye.